Stick around to the end of this episode for a sneak peek of a new podcast called The Ride Guys. Listen as your hosts Jason and Steve uncover little-known details of the amusement park world, from Disneyland's groundbreaking rail technology on the Matterhorn bobsled to how it has influenced modern rides that we see today. Or discover an episode on the history of the roller coaster mecca, Cedar Point, and learn why this destination has lasted more than 150 years. You could even take a test to find out what level of roller coaster enthusiast you are. Find out whether you're a mama's boy or a full-blown Giga Coaster worshiper that would sell your own mother for tickets to ride. And a whole lot more. Tune into this monthly 1-hour podcast, The Ride Guys.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Sandy, and we're two tenderfoot tourists.
Every day is a new day.
Welcome to episode 102, Springfield, the birthplace of Route 66.
Today on Two Tenderfoot Tourists, we'll be telling you all about
History of Route 66, the Mother Road, and our first experience at the birthplace of Route 66 Festival.
Where you wanna go? I take you there, my love. Where you wanna go? I take you there, my
You know what? Who in their right mind wouldn't do another episode of Route 66 when we get the response with those episodes?
Oh my
that we've been
goodness.
getting?
Okay. So we've always been interested in Route 66.
Always.
It was just a personal thing, though we didn't know how huge it is.
Mm-mm.
We just did not anticipate the response we've gotten off the last couple of episodes that we posted. So we thought, since there is a festival in town,
Why not share it?
there we go.
Why
So
not?
let's start off by you updating people, if this is the first episode they've listened to, just a little bit of the history of Route 66, the Mother Road.
The Mother Road. The automobile industry had an increase of all these vehicles that were on the road, and they had no good infrastructure, and there's a big push going towards the west. And the highway was open from 1929 all the way up until 1956 when the Federal Acts Highway, I can't remember exactly what it's called. I got it right here. The Federal Highway Aid Act in 1956 created the interstate, which really cut through a lot of these cities that the Route 66 actually went through for how many years? 29 through 56. That's like 30 years.
29.
Almost 30 years. So, is that right?
Now you're messing with my
You're going to
head.
do the math. Anyway, while you're doing the math, the interesting thing about Route 66, because of the fact that you had this, like, vehicles that ran through it all quite extensively, you had hotels and restaurants that popped up everywhere. Small towns started growing exponentially, and it created a lot of income for people as they were traveling back and forth. What, 27? Mm-hmm. Wow, 27 years. So then the interstate came in, and it cut through a lot of these towns that had this, like, as a major source of income for Route 66. So they died off.
I can't even imagine, if you think about that, somebody that was a child when a town went up and became a big deal. Mm-hmm. In their adult years. This is not even when they're elderly. This is just their adult lives. Mm-hmm. It's gone.
Yep.
It is totally gone.
And the sad thing about it is, not only did people lose their businesses, they lost their income. I mean, they lost their incomes, they lost their homes.
Yeah, their homes too.
Everything just fell apart.
Well, especially because some of these towns were out in the middle of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And once those businesses died, they had no way to support themselves at all, no matter how much they loved their home, and they had to leave it.
So by 1972, I-44 replaced 66. So
I-44 did?
I-44, that's in Missouri, and also I think I-44 goes through Oklahoma and also...
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. But ending up through St. Louis, but it ends in St. Louis and it turns into I-55. Sorry.
See, you know more of the history than I do, and I had no idea that I-44 was that important to our history.
It is.
It's very interesting.
It's very, and so the Pixar movie Cars,
yes,
is all about that. So, and they used a lot of elements that are factual about Route 66 for that movie.
Right. They made the cozy cone.
Yeah.
Instead of the
wigwams.
Instead of the wigwams, yeah, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And I love every minute of it.
Yeah.
But there's lots of references like that. It's a
major
lot of
references. So, Route 66, people come from all over the world just to travel the Route 66 road. And some of it is dirt road still. Mm-hmm. Some of it is impassable. I mean, you can't drive on it. It's not possible.
You can get near it.
Yeah.
So you could take pictures or whatever, but you can't drive on it. I said, I just want a Jeep.
Yeah.
Then we're like, I don't think they let you.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, Route 66, now, it is Springfield, Missouri, which we live in, is considered the birthplace of Route 66. And in 1929, I got the information here, hold on. There it is. In 1992.
Yeah, you said 29.
No, I'm sorry, 1992, on the 66th anniversary of Route 66, Springfield, Missouri was designated the official birthplace of Route 66. And there's a placard down at the Park Central Square that is dedicated to the fact that it is the birthplace of it. Now, why?
Okay, originally you told me the official home of Route 66. So is it just the official birthplace of Route 66?
It's the official. I didn't mean to say home.
Okay, I'm good. Keep
birthplace,
going.
yeah.
Why, you may ask?
Why? Why are you saying that? Well, because of the fact through a telegram that was made by John T. Woodruff, Springfield attorney here. He was the president of the U.S. Highway 66 Association, founded in 1927 to promote the highway. In a telegram, he was having an argument about what to name it. They argued back and forth. Was it Route 60, Route 62, all that stuff? And they finally settled on Route 66, and he made the recommendation for Route 66. So therefore, the name of Route 66 is the birthplace in Springfield.
So he won.
He won. But, so, what it is that we had done recently that we've been wanting to do for a long, long time, there was the 9th annual.
It was the 9th annual Birthplace of Route 66 Festival. And it's our first time to go to it. So it's kind of funny. We've lived here all our lives, and this is the first time we went to the festival.
So it was that place jam-packed or what?
It was incredible. We know how much I like to take pictures, and I was about to lose my mind because I couldn't get people out of my way. Now, that being said, I'm a little bit difficult. Not out loud in the open. They don't see it, but in my mind, you have no idea what's going on. But it was a neat thing to see so many people. When we would look down the different side streets, it was an incredible sight to see the vehicles all lined down through there and just tons of people all down through there. It's pretty incredible. It made me think of Disney when you go down Main Street, USA.
Oh, yeah,
and you look down through there and there's just throngs of people.
But yeah, now in the past I read an article and they said, I think it was 2015, they had 38,000 people attend the 2-day festival.
Yeah, what were they expecting possibly this year? I can't remember.
They were talking about 70,000 people. Last year was 53 or something like that, 53,000, 58,000.
I wouldn't doubt it. It was pretty busy, and it was hot too.
It was really hot. But the cars, honey.
Oh my gosh, the cars. Okay, anybody that knows our podcast knows I love muscle cars.
Especially if you listen to...
episode 3. What was that one?
Part 1.
This is the Fort Walton Beach one, right?
Yeah, it is the... gosh, I thought you wrote it down.
You told me I didn't have to.
Oh my gosh, hold on, I can do this. Hold on, it's all...
You said you don't have to write it down, I've got it.
It's the Fort Walton. You got the episodes right, by the way. Episode 3, the one about Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Yeah, it's a 2-part episode.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I mean,
Please forgive us for the audio, by the way.
I have never ever seen that many cars in my life, and they were so gorgeous. I mean, there were 57 Chevys. There was new stuff. There's
kit cars. There was all kinds of crazy
stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't believe some of these
there.
Chopped and lowered vehicles and all the different, years of Broncos, and it was just incredible. They were everywhere. And along with the palm trees and stuff. Anyway, I could talk about that all day.
But how many cars did they say that was possibly there? Do you remember at the Route 66 festival? Birthplace?
I don't remember.
It's like over 600 cars.
That's a lot of cars. Now, just full disclosure right now, we were only there a couple of hours and we did not see the whole thing.
No, in fact, it has grown exponentially throughout the years. Just in 9 years' time, it has went from just being focused in the square area, in the downtown Springfield area, and it's like runs a full-length mile from College Street on down to St. Louis Street through the Central Park Square.
Right, it wraps around in the square. And, I mean, it's just incredible. There were cars everywhere. There were old trucks. There were motorcycles galore. Okay. Yeah, we've never ridden a motorcycle, but now we're kind of thinking about it. They're gorgeous and they look so fun and there's so many different kinds.
Yeah.
And I loved watching the people driving in and out on them because it was just pretty cool to see how.
It was pretty cool.
Organized it was, which I have pictures of one of the men helping park those guys. And he said, "Oh, you almost got me in a picture. Dude, I got you. You're in a picture."
Yeah, I saw that picture. He's grinning. He's like, "I got out of it."
Yep.
No, you didn't.
But no, we had such a great time down there. And there was something even in the motorcycle area that you really thought was super cool.
Okay, so if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see I did a live stream of this. It's like a trailer, and it was a competition in a trailer. People roll their personal motorcycles up into this trailer, and they put them on this track, and they harness them down, and they put like racing lights in front of them.
Yeah, it looked like drag racing lights.
And they would race their bikes on this platform.
Right, it was on some kind of a what do you call it, conveyor?
Yeah.
Type of situation, and it was incredible.
It was amazing.
I will tell you that live feed was nothing in comparison.
Oh no!
Standing there, hearing it, and feeling your chest rattle.
Yeah,
I couldn't help but just go, "Oh my goodness!" Oh,
it really, the sound off of just made your chest rattle.
And you looked around, and everybody's just grinning at each other and laughing.
Oh yeah,
because it's just crazy. And in the end, they would tell how fast each cycle went, and they told who won.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun. If you get a chance to go watch the video, it's hilarious.
It is a lot of fun to look at. But yeah, they had a lot of things going on down there, a lot of cars to look at, beautiful cars, antique cars,
I took a
fully
million
restored.
pictures.
I know. How are we gonna share these with
I'm gonna
everybody?
do like I did with a lot of our Colorado trips and stuff. I'm just gonna start putting like 5 or 6 pictures
there you go.
every couple of days or a day on there because I don't want to put 30, 50, 100 pictures on one feed. People don't do that. It drives people crazy.
It's a little overwhelming. But yeah, that and the bikes were nice to look at. They had so many different kinds. They had Indians, they had Harley Davidson, they had Yamaha, they had Kawasaki.
They had trikes, they had spiders, they had, what's the other one? I want to say a boomerang, is that right?
Nope.
No, what is it? Slingshot.
That's it. Slingshot. That's it.
Those were really, really cool.
I can't believe they're actually considered a motorcycle.
I know, it's kind of weird. And maybe technically they aren't. I don't know, but I love them. When I see them, I'm just like, I want to ride in one.
I totally want to drive one.
I want to drive it.
I don't know if I could fit in one, actually.
Yeah, what did I say? I said, we need to buy either that or a spider. And I said, but we need to get healthy and skinny so we look good in it.
I'm on my road right now to healthiness.
Yeah.
I'm on the road to, how many weeks have I gone now without any caffeine?
Are you at 4 yet? Or is it 3?
I'm at 3 weeks without any aspartame.
Yeah.
And I've cut back on some of my caffeine, not a whole lot. I'm drinking a lot less caffeine than I had in the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
So, but I still managed to gain weight.
It's because you're drinking so much sugar now.
I don't understand. I'm supposed to be healthier.
I don't understand.
When I drink no aspartame, I'm supposed to get healthier, right?
Okay, now that we're on this rabbit trail, I have a question for you. I know that we saw a 1930 Ford Tudor. Did you remember seeing anything older than that?
1930. I saw a Model A.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. There was a lot of vehicles that okay. You and I are both, we enjoy looking at the toy cars and the fun cars and the things that are souped up and muscled out and everything like that. But if we had a choice between a muscled out car and something that's restored to its original glory, we enjoy the ones that have been restored to its original glory. Or is it just me?
Yes, but I'd really enjoy a restored 1969 Camaro. Yes.
Wow. Okay, wait. You saw a car down there that you
I saw a 1969 Camaro with metallic blue paint, which is like my dream car since I was 9 years old.
Okay, and the reason why is it a dream car of yours? Tell them why it's a dream car for you.
You act like this is odd.
No, I think it's awesome. Go ahead.
I was given a T-shirt with this car on it when I was little. And back then, it was the kind, T-shirts back then, if they had a decal, it would peel off.
Yes.
And I cherished this shirt. And every time it would wash and little pieces would start flaking off, my mom wanted to throw it away. I was like, no, I love this car. And I still want it.
And you saw that car there.
I did. I mean, it was the exact same as the picture.
The color and everything.
I know that's weird. I was 9.
Yeah.
But I remember the car.
Yeah, what was the car again?
A 1969 Camaro with metallic blue paint, and
Dude,
it had a stripe.
You are so attractive right now. You are so attractive.
If a car drives by,
and
I say, "Oh, cool car," don't say, "Well, what was it?" Because I'll go, "A really cool car."
It was a really cool car.
I can tell you the name as far as Mustang and Camaro really easily, but don't ask me the year.
No. They had all sorts of like 1957 Chevy Bel Airs throughout the. Oh, there it is. They had like several different types there. As far as like colors and whether it's like a hard top or a rag top, or they had ones that were souped up, restored, all these things. I mean,
there were some that were rough looking. There was one that was really weird. What was that one that had all the stuff on it? You took a picture of it.
I did? Oh.
Yeah, I think it was like a truck or something. A truck or a tractor or something weird.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
it wasn't pretty, so I didn't take a picture.
Okay, I took a video of it. It's not a picture. But
was it a video?
Yeah, I took a video of it, and it was like, what the heck? This guy had taken the front end of an old 1930s tractor and put like antlers on the front end of it, and he just had
It had all these old signs.
It was weird.
I think pretty much nail gunned or stapled to the sides.
Here it is. This is it, baby. Check this out. This is it. So it kind of looks like if the Beverly Hillbillies like decided to smoke crack, that's what they would come up with.
I totally agree. I think it looks like the body of an old bus.
It does. Oh, there he goes. It was really quick. It was very quick. The video, that is. Maybe you think I should post that?
I do. It was kind of weird.
Maybe I will. I don't know. So the car show. The cars and the bikes that were all there. And they didn't have just cars and bikes there. They also had food trucks and entertainment.
And different kind of vendors. For instance, we also saw like face painting. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, there were bands.
Now, when it come to like live bands, they had a variety of different kinds of bands there. Most of them did cover songs, I'm guessing. Because they had, what is the name of that one band that plays up there in Silverado City?
Members Only.
Members Only. Mm-hmm. They had Members Only there.
Pierre Serra was there also with our friend Scott Fraker.
That's it. The Bald Knobbers were there from Branson.
There was all kinds of, there more than we can say right now. There's just.
And there was a lot of really good bands up there. People we've never heard of.
It was really cool because they actually had a bandstand on the actual square. Mm-hmm. And then when you went, would have been, okay, tell me what my directions, was it east?
Oh, which one is this again?
When we went down to see the classic rock food truck.
Well, that was west. So wait, no, it was east. You're right, it was east.
Rock on, I scored.
You're right.
So, down east, we went a couple of buildings. And it's amazing how the buildings being so big, they cut off the sound the way they do, because you go around the corner and there's a band. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it was nice, loud music too. It was not quiet.
Yeah, you're right. It was pretty loud, and they had a lot of vendors to choose from, including our friends from Classic Rock were there.
We had a lavender lemonade that was incredible.
That was really good. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next year.
Yeah, and I'm hoping our schedule permits us to go for like an entire day if we feel like it.
Right.
Because there was a lot to see, and we were limited because we had a birthday party to go to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was pretty neat. I want to see it all.
I would too. And, in fact, for anyone who's listening, it's like, wow, we love Route 66. We love classic cars. We love those sort of. We love motorcycles. Oh, that's a beautiful car you just showed me a picture of. Because of the fact that these festivals are in August, we recommend that if you're going to be down here for that, take a bag of water and freeze your bottles and put them in a bag.
Or keep a cooler in your car and just run back and get a drink if you need to, because it's hot, guys.
It is really, really hot. And that was one of the things that we struggled with, is the heat. That was the real kicker.
It was. In July, especially late July, and the first part of August for sure, it's just really humid.
Yeah.
And you got to figure that your heat index is probably over 100 easy. Yeah. So just prepare. Make sure you drink a lot of water right before you head out of your car, and make sure you drink a lot while you're there.
Drink a lot while you're there. Now, as far as parking goes, there is places that are free for parking. Now, if you're wanting to show up, we recommend that you show up early in the day. Also, if you get there early enough, you can actually watch the parade, because there is a Route 66 parade where they actually have the cars driving down what is actually Route 66, where the festival is. St. Louis and College Street in the Central Square is a part of Route 66.
You know what I picture in my head? The cars driving down Route 66 in the movie Cars.
Oh, that's true.
I picture the lowriders and the bouncing car. Yeah, I do. I totally picture that.
That's awesome. I'd like to see that one acid trip of Beverly Hillbillies car go down there, too. I wonder if it's actually drivable.
I don't know.
It doesn't look like it, but you know what?
It wouldn't surprise me.
That was weird.
It was very weird.
It was weird. Yeah, highly recommend the Route 66, the birthplace of Route 66 Festival in Springfield, Missouri. It was our first time there. Excellent crowd. It was an amazing event.
And do you remember what opened the same week as that festival?
What was that?
The brand new Springfield History Museum.
Yeah, and we got a chance to go there and visit it.
We'll tell you more about that in our next episode. We've talked about the fact that when you want to do staycations, it's stuff around you benefit from. This is a great way to do it. And yeah, I'm excited.
I think you hit the nail right on the head when you say staycation. The museum is an excellent way. And you know what? Staycation doesn't mean necessarily you stay at the home itself, right?
Right, it's close.
We've talked about that on previous podcasts.
Or it might just be a little thing.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of those recently.
Yeah.
With our trip to see the Katosa, the Blue Whale of Katosa. And Pops. And Pops, of course, there.
Arcadia,
and then back the other direction and seeing Uranus, Missouri and
Ted Drew's frozen custard.
Yes, Ted Drew's. That was so cool.
So, you know what?
So this has been a lot of fun. We talked about the history of Route 66.
The Mother Road.
Yeah, and we talked,
Yeah.
We talked about when Springfield became the official birthplace of Route 66, the 9th annual birthplace of Route 66 Festival. All the cars, trucks, and motorcycles, the entertainment, the food trucks, the vendors, and the new Springfield History Museum.
Which, you know what?
We just kind of gave you a hint on that.
A little bit of a tease. And we really want you to come back and listen to that episode when we talk about it, because it is an amazing history of Springfield.
The place is incredible. That's all I'm going to say for now. We're saving the rest for episode 103.
Yes, 103. Wow, well, this was a great episode, right?
Aren't they all?
They are all great episodes. So thank you for listening to episode number 102.
Springfield, the birthplace of Route 66.
Two Tenderfoot Tourists is a family-friendly podcast. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcast, Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher. I got tongue-tied there. Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify, just to name a few.
To get in touch with us and chat about this podcast or even your travel experiences, simply email us at tenderfoottourists@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to check out our new website at twotenderfoottourist.com. That's TWO tenderfoottourist.com.
And keep those suggestions coming, and maybe you'll give us our best episode of 2019. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sandy.
Until next time,
stay tender. Now for a short clip from a new Tenderfoot Tourist podcast, The Ride Guys.
They're some of the biggest, fastest, most thrilling forms of entertainment in the world. Spanning over the centuries, they've evolved from mine carts careening down a mountainside and passengers grasping on for dear life to some of the most mind-blowing technological constructions pushing the limits of adrenaline and physics. What are we talking about? Roller coasters. We're the Ride Guys.
Thank you so much for joining the first ever episode of Ride Guys.
Ride Guys, here we are.
Yeah, why don't you explain to everybody what exactly our hopes and our attempts will be in entertaining people with this podcast?
Basically, it's an offshoot of Two Tenderfoot Tourists.
Yeah.
So you and Sandy had me come in a few times and we talked about roller coasters, rides, scary stuff on roller coasters at Halloween, which was awesome. And we had so much fun. You said, hey, let's do our own podcast and do this more often.
That's right.
So that's where we are.
Jason, like he said, he's been on the podcast on numerous occasions and we've always had a great time doing it. And if you'd like to listen to it, just go to our Two Tenderfoot Tourist podcast. You can find that at twotenderfoottourist.com, on Facebook, on Podbean, Apple, Spotify, everywhere, and just find the ones that even talk about a roller coaster.
Right.
And Jason will be in there. So you kind of get an idea of what, and Jason is a roller coaster enthusiast, and you've been riding roller coasters since you could walk.
Well, maybe not quite that long, but that's pert near.
Did I oversell that?
No, not at all.
No. Okay. I mean, you're the kind of person, you have the mindset is like, I love roller coasters. I'm going to learn everything I possibly can about that roller coaster and all roller coasters, who made it, the people that were involved, the companies, everything about it, right?
As sad as that sounds, hearing it come from you, yeah, that's true.
Statistics and everything that goes involved. So this should be one heck of a roller coaster of a podcast. For anyone out there that like to learn more, this would be a great place for you.
This would be awesome.
Awesome. So, our plans on covering on the first episode is the Matterhorn.
Oh, we have to start with the Matterhorn.
We do, because it is quintessentially the thing that really changed roller coasters to what we have nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you tell everybody what you know about the Matterhorn at this time?
Wow, how much time do we have?
No, 30 minutes.
I'm kidding. So the Matterhorn was revolutionary for its time. I mean, if you go ride it now, and if you and me went to California and hopped on now, you'd probably be like, this is kind of dumb and
it's kind of cheesy,
kind of lame. Yeah.
But
you've got to realize at the time it opened in 1959.
Yes.
So Disneyland was still in diapers at that point. It was a ride that changed the ride industry, and we can point to it as one of the reasons why we have the roller coasters and the rides we have nowadays. There was a couple of different, things that happened in a span of a few years, but building the Matterhorn was definitely one of those quintessential moments in the history of amusement parks and rides and roller coasters and all that. Disney had wanted something for his park. He was always noted for saying Disneyland will never be finished, and he was always wanting to plus everything, plus the park, plus a ride. So he never wanted to be satisfied and think, okay, we finally got it all here, we're done. He wanted Disneyland to always be a work in progress and adding and trying new things, and we've seen what it's blown up into these days.
Okay, so the inspiration behind the Matterhorn was based on a movie, correct?
Yeah.
Third Man on the Mountain.
I was trying to think of I knew Man on the Mountain. It was Third Man on the Mountain.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and then Disney had also, I believe, if I'm remembering right, made a trip over to Europe.
And while they're filming it, yeah.
Yeah, and he saw the Matterhorn, I think, and that was his inspiration for, I need to put one of those in my park and figure that out.
Right. Yeah.
So,
in fact, he sent a postcard to the guy who was over that, and he said, build me this.
I kind of remember that.
That's all he wrote on the back to this one guy. I can't remember his name, though.
And I think when they were just thinking about possibilities, I believe all that the first incarnation or the first vision for it was just kind of a slide down the side of the mountain. Is that right?
It was like a bobsled. It was like
Okay. So it went through, various, design thoughts and phases to get what we've got today. It definitely, it was something Disney had himself, before he died. It was something he was in charge of because, he wasn't around too much longer.
No.
I forgot what year he...
65.
65, okay.
Yeah.
So it was, he didn't see a lot, most of the rides that we have these days, but Matterhorn was definitely one that he was a huge part of.
Right. Yeah, he was. So, statistic-wise, as far as like the size of this mountain, of course it's like not nearly as big as the Matterhorn itself. Is only 80 feet tall, I believe.
Yeah, that's the size of the track. You're talking about the height of the track. The mountain actually extends above.
Oh.
So you've never ridden it, right, Steve?
No,
okay.
no. Are you kidding me?
And that's another fun thing about our podcast is you got me who will ride anything he sees, and Steve, who will get to that point. Who's
Someday.
who is not quite there yet. So
I don't know if my ticker can handle it.
Oh, your ticker can handle the Matterhorn, trust me.
I'm sure at 27 miles an hour.
Yeah. I mean, it's pushing it, but yeah. So
Yes.
the Matterhorn, the way it's set up, it actually has two sides. It's two roller coasters essentially
I
that
didn't know
weave
that.
together. Yeah. There's two sides, and they both go up a lift hill that's in the center. You get on and they start and you turn and go up a lift hill side by side, and it's in the middle of the mountain essentially.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So yeah, it's very cool. So it tops out at 80 feet, but the peak actually goes up to not quite 150 feet, 147.
Yep.
147 feet. So you've still got quite a bit of mountain above you once you get to the top of the lift hill or the top of the highest point of the actual roller coaster ride.
The inspiration was actually the Matterhorn, the real mountain
in Europe. Yeah.
In Europe, right. How tall is the actual Matterhorn? It is.
I was going to say like 1,000 feet.
It is. The Matterhorn is 14,692 feet.
Oh, well, see, there you go. I was only off by 13,000-ish.
So that's quite a bit. Okay, so, but
and Disney completely built it to scale, so it's...
Yes. It's really that big.
Yeah.
Now, before the Matterhorn actually went in, they basically, it was an answer to a problem that they had at the park.
That's right.
So, the problem is they had a huge mound of dirt from building Disneyland they couldn't afford to get rid of.
Right.
So they turned it into a park?
It was called Holiday Hill. I think he just slapped a bench on it, let some grass grow and slapped a bench on it, hoping people would just, go to Disneyland to sit on his pile of dirt.
It was free. It was okay.
Yeah.
But he built it, he ended up getting rid of it because kids were going out there and, necking, I guess, or making out.
Necking.
That's a 50s word.
I was going to say, wow, way to work that in. We're talking about a 50s roller coaster.
Okay, so yeah, they were going up there making out and stuff like that, and Disney did not like that. He didn't want
that kind of image at all for his park. Yeah.
So he said, you know what, we're going to just build the Matterhorn, and it's so what makes this roller coaster so unique as far as like what did they do in order to make this mountain come to be and the ride itself?
Well, what really the importance of the Matterhorn and what makes it unique was it was the first roller coaster to use tubular steel track.
Yes.
And you think, if I say the word roller coaster, an image that pops in your mind today, you've got basically two types of roller coasters now, steel and wooden.
Right.
Well, there was a time when there wasn't steel. It was just wooden roller coasters.
Right.
The Matterhorn changed that. The Matterhorn created this new category of steel roller coasters, and every steel roller coaster you see today, you can trace it back to the Matterhorn because that's the first roller coaster that tried to do it, and of course it was successful. It's still standing right now.
Now, Arrow was well known for being who created, they designed, correct?
Yeah, Arrow was the company that made the Matterhorn, and they were, I think it was a collaborative design because Disney has their Imagineers, and most of the rides, maybe, the Imagineers have some kind of hand in, it's what I'm saying. It wasn't just purely Arrow, but it was a combination.
Collaborative.
Collaborative, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. But it was Arrow who came up with the idea of the tubular track, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one of the problems they were having was the fact that, one, they needed the bobsled to be on something so it didn't go running off the track.
Of course, right.
You know, throwing people off the mountain, which would be very kind of funny but bad at the same time.
I mean, you can't have multiple rides. You just get one ride at that
One
point.
ride. That's it. You're done.
Yeah. Next.
But the thing is how do you keep this thing from going down and also making it smooth, like you're really sliding on ice.
Right.
And it allowed them to bend
in different ways that a wooden track wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it was the first time they could do maneuvers like the tight turns and the banked turns, you know, smoothly and efficiently. You know, the wooden track wouldn't accommodate that.
Right. So that right there in itself is the first ever.
Yeah.
And it's true to what you say, because I researched it myself. It was the inspiration and the pivotal point that really changed roller coasters that we know nowadays.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And what people enjoy and I don't.
You will. Don't is not the right word. You will.
I don't enjoy.
You owe me a ride. So.
I do. So which one was it? It was Time Traveler.
Time Traveler.
In Silverdale City, yeah.
Yeah, and then Sandy still owes me an Outlaw Run.
Yeah, I just thought about it, writing that. I'm nearly wetting myself thinking about it. And everybody's going like, are you serious? That is such an easy ride. I'm like, you know, well, how old is your daughter?
Which one? 8?
Yes. We really hope you enjoyed that clip from the Ride Guides podcast. The full 1-hour episode will be released on September 4th at 2tenderfoottourist.com or anywhere else the 2 Tenderfoot Tourist podcast is available.